And our division chief of the family division, Ms. Smithlow, joins us as well. Ms. Smithlow, good morning to you, or afternoon to you, I should
Good
say.
afternoon, Your Honor.
So let me first ask the parties, just for ease of sake, do you mind if I call you Timothy?
Yeah, you can call me Tim or Timothy.
Tim, that's good. And
You can call me Lex.
Lex, perfect, thanks. Then Lex and Tim, I'm going to go through things on the record, then we're going to hear from Ms. Smithlow, and then we'll hear from the parties. But suffice to say, a complaint for child support was filed on July 3rd of 2024. It was served on the defendant, Tim, on July 18 of 24. An answer was filed on the 19th of July of 2024. Ms. Smithlow scheduled a pre-hearing conference on August 13 of 2024 at 9:30. There was then a motion to revoke an affidavit of parentage, which was denied on September 13 of 2024. There were a couple of other pre-hearings scheduled. One was October 31st of 2024, and then again on December 16 of 2024. The child support, as calculated by Ms. Smithlow's office, was $729 in base support, 10 in ordinary medical, for a total of $739 per month, starting on August 1 of 2024. The income utilized for the calculus was for plaintiff potential income of $3.93 an hour times 35 hours a week, plus $464.11 in tips. And for the defendant, it was based on actual income. There are no overnights, zero overnights calculated or used in the calculus. The uninsured medical expense is plaintiff at 40%, defendant at 60%, and the Section 4D birth expenses are or have been waived. Let me hear from Ms. Smithlow first. Anything you want to add to the record before I hear from the party?
No, Your Honor, I am actually appearing here for former APA Yasmin Dahan, and her notes indicate that during the December 16th, 2024 pre-hearing conference, Mr. Bellinger raised issues of ROPA, but was also indicating that he would be a good father. So I don't know if the parties, and that obviously has not been, nothing in ROPA has been filed, but we would just ask that the judgment be entered the way it's proposed.
Thank you. I know I denied one on the 13th of September, and I would have to look back as to why that was, but when you're revoking an affidavit of parentage, it's
I think you indicated that the affidavit was insufficient and did not point out mistake or fact or newly discovered evidence.
Yeah, that's probably what happened. It's not easy to set aside an AOP. It's got to be done very methodically, and I recommend that if that issue gets revisited, that the parties may want to consider hiring counsel to help them revisit that issue. But I'll start with you first, Lex. Anything you want to add?
Yes. So Timothy and I were together for the first year of of our daughter's life, and we ended our relationship in January 2021, and he has not seen her since, until then the motion was filed for the revocation of parentage, and then that was denied because we both failed to appear. I was taking our daughter to school, and I just totally slipped my mind that day, and by the time I got in the call, the motion had already been denied. But anyways, After all that, Timothy and I thought, developed a relationship enough to the point where I allowed him to meet our daughter, and he had not seen her since she was 1, so obviously she did not know about him or who he was, and he went out of his way to be dad of the year for about a month, and even told her that he was her dad. And now I've had to put her in therapy because he has since ghosted us since Christmas. And I am just confused because I'm not sure what he is trying to do here. I think he was just trying to avoid paying child support, and once he found out he still had to pay for her insurance or child support is when he seemed to dip out.
So when you use the term "he ghosted me," are you saying that he didn't? Usually my clerk ciphers these things for me, but does that mean he just didn't have any contact with you or your daughter?
Correct. He was giving rides to school for about a month consistently. He had promised he was going to show up on Christmas and bring gifts for our daughter, and then he had just completely stopped communication, didn't message us, didn't let us know what was going on. I had texted his partner, into which I was informed that she had no idea that he was even involved in her life like that, or that he was her father. And so I think it's just a bunch of personal stuff that got thrown into the mix, and we haven't heard from him since. I would say he has not seen our daughter since December 19th and has not spoken to her since then as well.
Okay.
And I've hardly been in communication with him because he's been ignoring me.
So I just want to tell both of you before I hear from Tim is that this motion, and I hate to sound like an officious bureaucrat to you, but this motion is strictly child support stuff. So if it sounds like both of you need to have kind of a introspective discussion as to how we're going to proceed relative to whether there's going to be any parenting time, whether Mr. Bellinger wishes to have some, then he would have to file a motion with me, that type of thing. But I hate to sound like just the numbers want, but this is just the numbers thing right now. And if the parties wish me to address other issues, I am here every 2 weeks, so Mr. Bellinger can find me and ask me to weigh in on some of those. But I appreciate you telling me that, Lex. Tim.
Yes.
Anything you want to add?
Well, this is strictly for child support, like you brought up. So the only concerns I have regarding child support is the amount that was calculated with the Michigan formula. I would either have to get a second job on weekends, and I don't even know if that would cover the $739 a month. Currently, right now, I only have about $250 extra expense that I can put into savings each month after I pay my bills. And that's about the only concern, and hopefully we can come to some sort of agreement with the amount.
Thank you. Ms. Smith-Lowe, any suggestions?
Well, Your Honor, I suppose we could have another, Your Honor, I'm not in front of my computer as I am usually, as the court is aware. I've been juggling courtrooms all morning. I'm not in front of my computer, but if the court is aware of when our time deadlines are on this case, we can possibly schedule another pre-hearing conference to see if the parties can reach an agreement.
Well, I'm going to enter this as it's stated, and then I'm going to invite Mr. Bellinger to either through counsel or without counsel file a motion for me to review child support. And when you file that, what I'll probably do at that point, Tim and Lex, is I'd probably send that issue to the friend of the court who can take a deeper dive into it. And see where we go from there. Obviously, I don't want anybody paying more child support than it's called for, and I don't want anybody accepting less. So if that becomes the issue, Mr. Bellinger, then I need you to bring that to my attention in a motion. If you are familiar with the Kent County Courthouse, if you go to the fifth floor, they have a legal assistance center. They can show you how to get that issue back in front of me, and I'd be glad to discuss it with both of you. And then what I'd probably do is order an investigation to take a look at that, and then the parties would have to submit all kinds of things pursuant to a questionnaire. So I promise you I will do that if I get a motion to that effect, Mr. Bellinger. So I will wait for that, but I'll sign this, and then you can tell me when you bring that motion what you think the child support should be, and we'll go at it from there, okay?
All right, thank you.
All right, Lex, anything further?
Just a few things actually.
I don't have time for a few
So
things.
originally,
I got time for one. I got
Okay,
time for
all right. Basically just has to do with income, the income calculation.
well, what they're gonna
I
do.
don't, I can't speak for his income, but I know that I have not worked that job, that the earnings for my income.
Yeah,
I
know that.
actually am self-employed currently, so I don't think that that'd be accurate. I'm not trying to run Tim for his money. I never originally wanted child support, so
I never got that impression one bit from you, Lex. And I didn't get the impression that Tim doesn't want to pay anything either. I think you're both straightforward people. And I promise you, if this issue gets him back in front of me on a motion, they will do a deeper dive on all this.
Okay.
And I promise you that I will listen to whatever you got to tell me. Okay?
Okay. Mhm.
We both are all set. Have a good weekend. Happy Valentine's Day. And we're adjourned. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All
as
right,
well.
thank you for your time.
Thank you.